Welcome back to the Artefactors Union. I am your host and foreman, Douglas Scoundrels. Today we are assembling the Propagandist, a versatile model for the Guild faction. It is a box with a singular model, which is named the Propagandist, or just Propagandist. It's a gentleman on a tripod thing with a bunch of speakers. Anyways, that is our artwork. Render on the back. He's looking like he's going to tip over very easily, but that's a him problem, not me. Let's look at the sprue. Everything here is a relatively decently sized bit, with the exception being the arms of the chair, which we'll do fairly late in the build, but other than that, stuff's pretty chunky. Looks like it's going to fit fairly solidly. Just a decent amount of it. So, build order is going to be building the body of the mechanical tripod thingy first, which we'll start with these two bits, and then we'll do all 4 of the legs. Once those are attached, we will build the majority of the body, so like the torso, the legs, both arms, and the head. Then we'll attach that to the tripod, hopefully. And after that, we will attach the chair to his butt, and then do the arms, or possibly do the arms and attach the chair to his butt. Not entirely sure which one is going to be which. We'll figure that out later. If I can fit the arms on there after the fact, I would think I would rather do that, but the coat might be too much in the way. And then we'll finish with the speakers. I want to do them last so that they're not in the way of getting the arms of the chair on. Anyways, long ramble. We're going to look at the instructions first, and then start with A10 and A16. Here's A10, and now A16 is just going to glue in on this side. Alright, now that we have the core done, we'll start with the shorter forelegs of the walker thing. A4 is going to fit right in here, and then A1 will be in the same on the other side, but let's start with A4. Something of note, it's kind of hard to see, but here's the very obvious connection point on A4. However, there is just the tiniest like flat part right here on top that will also connect to sort of the underside of here. Let me just show you. It will connect right here as opposed to this big hole. And getting those two parts to touch, here, right here, and on the bit, is how you get the angle correctly, because this does rotate a bit inside the socket, but to get it to fit correctly, rotate it as far forward as possible, forward to the model, because the model will be facing us like this. So yes, rotate it as far forward until it stops going, and then you know it's where it's supposed to sit. Right, that's attached. So now let's flip it over and do A1 in the same spot. Again, there is this nice connection point right here on top you got to pay attention to. And there we go. Okay, our next set of legs is, I say they're the back legs, but they are just higher up, I guess, than these ones. They will connect here and here. And let me double check which one goes on which side. We're looking at A6 on this side, which will connect right here, and then A5 on the other side. But let's add A6 first. Okay. Now would be a good time to check and just make sure all the little feetsies fit more or less flat. But we can move over and do A5. I already forgot what but this side was supposed to be on. It's A5. It's A5. Okay. Do A5 over here. There we go, and it sits flat on its feetsies. So we can go ahead and set that down and get started on our actual propagandist guy. So we'll go ahead and cut out the body, A7, then we'll attach the legs, A8. We'll do the left arm, A2, the right arm, A3, and then the head, A9. Slight change of plans. Once we've combined the legs to the body here, we'll actually attach them to the walker. It should be fairly solid connection, so might as well put them together as quick as possible. Anyways, this is A7. Let's add A8 right here in this crevasse. Okay, those are combined. Now, as far as attachment to the body goes, there is this stump right here, which will attach to the foot on the back, or the upper right leg, but also you can see this connection point here, which will be his like thigh or like maybe at his knee. And then on this side, he might, I believe he will be touching the saddle here, but also very hard to see. But you see these just little tiny dents, and that is actually where the foot that's strapped into the thing fits. You see these little ridges here on this thing attached to his foot. That's what will actually attach on those tiny ridges. And then also the bottom of the foot should attach about right here. So let's go ahead and add them on. There we go. The only thing I was incorrect on is that this left leg doesn't really touch the saddle at all, but it does connect right here on the sort of neck of his microphone. There we go. That's how it looks. Let's quick check from the back. We're all good. All right. The arm that is pointing the left arm, which is A2. Oops. Focus. Going to attach right there. That's in. Now let's do A3. If my camera will focus. Stupid camera. Going to be right here. Okay. Easy enough. Fits in solidly. Now let's do A9, the head. He's got a head. Alright. Okay, 1 second. Alright, wanted to check and see how difficult it would be to attach the chair back to the rest of our running before we did the arms of the chair. I think we need to at least do A12 here, which is the right arm of the chair. So we'll attach that to the chair back, which is A13. I have it in my hand right here. And then we'll attach that to the body, and then we can do A11, which definitely has a spot on the coat that it attaches to. So let's do that. All right, here's A13. A12 is going to fit right in this crevice right here, pointing this way. Okay, just make sure it's nice and flush on the back, and now we can attach it to the rest of our tripod slash guy. So the man's right arm is going to glue right in here, and this connection point right there will fit right there. And it looks like the arm does have an attachment point. That might be it right here. We'll see. Let me add that real quick. Okay, I guessed completely wrong where that arm is supposed to touch the coat, but there does appear to be a connection point on the arm. So make sure you glue it to the coat. But that looks nice. Looks fine on the bottom. That looks fine over here. The most important thing is to make sure that the wrist connection point looks real good, which it does here. So we're going to go ahead and add A11, the other arm. Excuse me, the other arm right here, and it will be touching the coat right here. You can kind of see the connection point. All right. The arms are done. They look pretty good. Now, I'm going to set that down, and we'll just add the 3 sets of speakers to each other and then attach them to the back of the chair. So our middle set of speakers, A15, we'll grab that, and then the right side speakers, the right of the model, is A14. We'll add A14 to A15, and then we'll add A16 to A15 as well, and then we'll attach it to the back. Sorry, this is A17, not 16. Blah. Alright, we have the back of A15 here. And these 2 connection point teeth things will fit into A14 right here, as well as along this connection point. So effectively just attach like that. Alright. That's attached. Now A17 is going to basically cover up this entire area. They're going to be really scrunched together with a small strip that will eventually be attached to the back of the chair. But yeah, exactly like that. Okay, there's our speakers. Just a bunch of boxes. As I said before, all these connection points along here are going to go into the back of the chair right there. Okay. And the other side, just be certain. Alright, he's all done. Put him on a base. The Propagandist is really tall. Yeah. Not that hard. I was expecting with that many bits in it being a bunch of lanky robot parts That'd be harder, but the hardest part was really the arms of the chair, and maybe it was just figuring out the assembly order. That might have been it. I feel like I did a pretty good job of figuring out exactly what was supposed to go on and when. So if you follow these instructions, you should be pretty good to assemble him. But I have been your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, helping you build a better Malifaux. Have a good night.